Right, morning, welcome to RTC Adventures. You've probably seen in a previous video, which was a short. If you haven't, basically, Louise there, the Beetle, broke down a couple of days ago with no power steering. So me and Ryan went out to assist Emma to find out as soon as you put the fluid in and started it and tried moving the steering, the fluid was coming out quicker. So we had to be we had to come back on a low loader. So today he's trying to find out exactly what's wrong. We had a mechanic say when he had a quick look to say it was the pump, but I did notice that out of the shaft that comes out the steering rack to the hub, it was bubbles. And so that's telling me maybe there's a seal in there that might be gone. And if anyone knows any different, that'd be good. Thank you, put it in the comments. But yes, we're going to try and find out what's wrong with the poor little thing. So poor old Emma at the moment is, well, not poor old Emma, she's borrowing Harlequin, Ryan's V5 Golf for work. So we have a chance to have a look and hopefully repair Louise the Beetle. Right, well, got an engine started and we've just operated, and that is where it's coming out of. That looks to me like a rack. As we can see, that's just pouring out of there. There's no dripping above, it's just running. To me, that's running straight out of the rack. Bugger. So further confirmation that it's, as far as I'm concerned, it's the rack. This is the near side wheel now, and it's dripping out of that gator as well. So yep, rack's got to come out.
So yeah, we're going to remove the rack, which means dropping the subframe, which obviously being on the floor is a little bit more difficult than if we were on a hoist, you know, like a two-post ramp. Be a bit more difficult than that, so we're going to be led on the ground quite a bit. Hopefully I can do it with the height it's at. It's straightforward, it's nice and easy, just drop the subframe. But I've got to remove the bolt that holds the steering column to the rack first, and then remove the track rod ends from their ball joint mountings on the hub, and then remove the track rod ends themselves, so we can put on the new one. And obviously we've got to measure where they are and all this. You get the gist, and then we can then lower the subframe, get the steering rack out. Rack. Get it out, and then we can go get a new one. All this video is me removing that steering rack. So let's get into it, shall we? Hopefully the picture's okay as well, because I've just noticed the camera's dirty. Right, so hopefully you can see what I'm having to deal with. So what I'm having to remove now is this plastic trim here, which the steering column is here. There's a mounting, these are plastic as well. So I have been watching videos online, or a video online, about how to do this job, because obviously not doing it this is the first time that we're doing it. So let's get a bit of flat blade in it. Oh, I just knocked you a little bit, sorry about that, my people. Now, being under the dash, it's quite a small area to work in. So, being plastic, don't want to break them. Let's move that out of the way quickly. This is again plastic, but it's a twist one. And once these are out of the way, then we should be able to remove this plastic trim. And then find our bolt, which there is only a small bolt in place. Move that as well. Now, it should come out without much fuss. There we go. So I'll remove that trim and I'll put it on the other side. So it's now the other side. I'll put those in the cup holder, and now you can see I don't actually need to move the steering wheel, which is good. Which is excellent. If you look down there, that's a bolt down there, little, I know it's trying to focus on the pedal. little 13mm there, so I don't actually have to move the pedal at all. Let's get it back into position so you can see. If you focus on the clutch pedal behind the clutch pedal, make sure the steering's straight as well. Which it is. Put the steering lock on as well, so that stops that from moving. But there, right. As you saw there, it's now moved a bit, so take the steering lock off. Bring it back so I can see it. Right. Remove that bolt. Yeah, sorry, you're going to get quite a bit of my arm, I think. Right, I am on the bolt. Yes, okay. Now, this bolt, I would say, is probably just a retaining bolt that holds the column together. That's all it does, really. Try and get it out so it doesn't actually fall underneath. One bolt, and again I'm going to put that in the cup holder. Now we can straighten the steering wheel. Remove the key, put on the steering lock, and then now we can actually remove the steering column itself from the steering rack there, because this is, I need a pry bar, not a screwdriver, see how that works. There we go. It will come, it's just being awkward. Because why not? You're videoing it, so I swear parts have an agenda. They really do. Right, let's move to the next clip when that's out of the way and we're actually underneath the car. I thought beforehand, I'll show you just quickly that the steering rack and the steering column are now apart. All it took was a good old pry bar, which, funnily enough, we picked up at the NEC when we went to the Classic Car and Restoration Show. If you were there, I hope you had a great time. We did meet a few people. If you said hello to us, hello. So right, let's get underneath the car and let's start getting that subframe out of the way. Right, so removing the track rod ends. Obviously now I need to go get a pair of mole grips to hold onto the shafts. We're going to be removing the track rod ends completely and utterly from the steering rack itself because they go onto the new one. You could get new ones, but we're going to be using the originals. They look to be in okay conditions, so we should be okay. Let's go get a pair of mole grips. So I've got a pair of mole grips. That's just to hold the shaft in place. You could do it with a spanner, but mole grips just make it nice and easy, and plus it's the old rack that we're getting rid of, so we're not too worried about damaging the shaft. Then I'm going to need a 19 to undo that. The Don't take the nut all the way off, because when it comes to it, you want the nut to be the surface area that you hit with a hammer, not the thread itself. Right, so using a 13mm. Now you can use a windy gun to do this, but I don't recommend using a windy gun when you put it all back on, because obviously you've got to torque it all up afterwards. Right, so that's almost at the point where it's below the thread. Couple more turns, I think, because again you don't want to be damaging the threads itself. Hopefully you can see that. Yeah, you can. Now before I'm going to remove that, I'm going to be using stuff called Tipex to mark where the track rod end sits. I know it's on the old shaft, but then we can measure it afterwards. Hopefully it sticks well. Now when it comes to Tipex, I would seriously suggest not using the Tipex that you would be using for your paper and all that sort of thing. Use an old Tipex. Because if you use the same Tipex you're going to be using, then all your paper and everything's going to end up with dirt on it, and you don't want that. Now, let's see how many turns this takes using a 2-pound hammer. Move the wheel trim out of the way, I don't want to be hitting that as well. Because obviously it's a tapered shaft in there. Now if this was on a hoist it'd be so much easier, because I could get a full swing, but not today. Helps if you actually hit it as well. Move you guys around a bit. I'm feeling a bit new instead, and that's not ideal. As you can see, it takes a bit of persuasion to get some of these out sometimes. Maybe if I turn the steering a bit, if we can, get some of that pressure off. Maybe that will make it easier. There we go, see? Right. Move that. Move that out of the way. Put the nut back on so we don't lose it. Move the more grips. And that's that side undone. Then all we got to do is remove the track rod end. And the other side's exactly the same, but I'm not going to show you that because there's no point repeating myself. So I'll get the other side off, and then we'll get on to getting underneath and start removing the bolts for the subframe. I've got a jack out as well to take the weight of the subframe, so I can lower it down nice and easily. Right, okay, so I'm going to try the first subframe bolt, which is the front ones. Hopefully you get a good angle. I think you are. Now, in this situation, it'll be ideal for me to use an impact gun, but being on the ground, we are too low for the impact gun to work. So, you can't see it, but that I'll show you quickly. I'm using part of the jack and a 90-degree angle bar to do the thing. So if you look over here, I know it's not directly in the middle of the shot, but that's where we are working. Sorry about the background noise. Try my darndest here. Yeah, you'll be hearing a lot of that today. It was a big and nice day. They've decided, the council have decided to get their workforce out. There we go, it's done okay. I'll get to the point where I can actually use a ratchet, because the ratchet wouldn't go on the handle itself, so it's not ideal. But now I can undo that one with a ratchet. Undo that one. With a ratchet, and you fall over. And again with this, once I've done this side, I will. The next thing will be me lowering the subframe down and undoing the steering rack bolts. Trying to be as in depth as I possibly can, so there we go. What a lovely long galvanised bolt. Right, okay, there's still being noise in the background, but hey ho. Right, I thought it was 17, it's not, it's 16. Obviously, this is the first time that I've done this on a modern Volkswagen, or modern-ish Volkswagen. I've done it on a Mark II Scirocco, and obviously we did it on the 2CV as well, the Citroen 2CV. There's not sound everywhere. Remove the extension so we can get a better purchase that way. There we go. Right, that's that one. Okay, now. Use the old lengthening device, which literally, hopefully you can see, is just a bit of bar. It's a 90-degree angle bit, along with, where am I supposed to be going, eh? I might be going the wrong way, but this should be better. Obviously I need to get this out of the way so I can actually drop the subframe. No, it was just really, really tight. Really tight. There we go. Right, that's enough for the jack handle, and that can't remember the name of it right now, but you know what it looks like. It comes in a lot of kits. Once we've got this out of the way, I'll undo the bolts that hold the steer rack on this side. I've already undone that side, so right, that's that now loose. Let's move you to a location where I can undo the bolts this side for the steering rack, and then we can lower the steering rack and subframe as a whole unit on the jack, and hopefully that should be it. Right, okay, so by the looks of it, we've got this one here and this one here to undo. And the other side was easy. And the reason why this side won't be that. Let's have a look. Pepper likes the sound of her own voice this morning. Oh yes, I've also got to undo those 2 bolts there, which then connect to the exhaust. So what I'll undo those, I've soaked them in WD-40, so I'll do that in a minute. Let's get these bolts out for the steering rack. It's got to tight a little bit there. Use the socket. Won't come off. If I have to do this again next time, it'll be a lot quicker. And hopefully next time we'll have a workshop as such, if you know what I mean. That'd be a nice thing to have, wouldn't it? No more needing to lie on the ground and do it underneath the car. That'd be an ideal thing. That's what all car enthusiasts want. We all started in the same place. We all started lying on the ground with axle stands and jacks and all such. I just want to go to the next step now and get a workshop. I think that's a while away yet. Right, that was still quite tight. Right, so these are 13mm. I've got the other side out already, so sorry about that, but I just got on with it. Let's try to get the right bloody position. I don't know if you saw that, but the actual whole subframe was moving there. Right, so let's now move to the ratchet spanner, which we've had for, well, I think since I was born, or before I was born. Super old. It still does the job, just. We'll have to fight with it a bit. This is why you put on penetrant, because these bolts certainly did not look like they were going to undo. So at this point, the jack effectively is the only thing that's holding the subframe up. There's no other bolts holding it in place. So as soon as I lower the jack, the subframe should drop. So then hopefully give us enough room to get the steering rack out. I don't see why it wouldn't be. There you guys. I'll give myself as much room as I possibly can. That could probably do it. That should be nice and easy now. Now hopefully the steering rack can now come out. Ah. Oh yeah, loads of room. Oh yeah, I've also got to undo the lines as well, haven't I? Yes. So if I show you, I've got to undo those 2 lines there, obviously, being a power steering fluid, or power assisted steering pump. Once that's undone, then I should be able to get it out nice and easily. Hopefully. Right, I'm going to undo them, and then your next bit will see me trying to get it out. Right, so those are the lines out. I had to use a bit of electronic helpery. Yeah, I had to put a bolt back in, down, come on, focus, down there to hold it back into place. Use a windy gun on them to get those out. Now, don't worry about it bleeding all its fluids out. It's been doing that for days anyway, so what's it matter? Right, shall we try and get this steering rack out, shall we? So if I point you there, the steering rack is directly in the middle of the screen. Now, what else do I need to want it to come out? Throw you there. Catching up. Everything, anything and everything. Do. I've caught him something and I can't work out what. There we go, it's out. That's one rack out of the car. So we do have to swap that onto it, that onto it. Obviously the track railings each end, and then the new one can go in. But for you guys, hopefully this is not a very long video, but for me, it's been a while. It's taken a good few hours to do that, but obviously it's my first one taken out, working out what I need to do. I did watch a video, but it was very brief. And yeah, so steering rack's out, just got to get a new one now. So keep your eyes out on the channel. Make sure you are subscribed and hit that bell, and you'll see part 2. So this is part 1 of steering rack gator tomfoolery on RCC Adventures, along with Louise here. And I mean, when she bled everywhere, as you can see in the beginning of the video, that's parasiterin fluid coming out of the gators. So the seals inside the steering rack itself have gone. So we get a new one from Euro Car Parts, and we'll go from there. But if you like this video, please guys, give this video a like and a comment. Why not put down in the comments if you've done this before and had a nightmare with me. Don't forget that the car's been on the ground as well, so there's no hoist or anything like that to ease our job, which would have been a lot easier. And subscribe. Yeah, you know what to do. If you've been here before, you know exactly what to do. If you're new, hi, and we'll catch you in the next one. Cheers guys.